So Jess is stressing out. So we've got Jess from Climasure Building Sciology Podcast.
Yeah, two separate things. Climasure is my day job. Building Sciology is my...
And in true Matt and Hamish fashion, we threw it on a day or two ago that she could interview us. So we're handing this over to Jess from now on.
So Jess, now Jess is peeking out here because she actually got prepared and had written a whole bunch of questions and now she can't find them.
And so just for reference, we are recording from our portable Pro Climber studios. We're in SA for the next day doing some events, which is cool. But perfect.
Well, we're also at Enduro Builders Certified Passive House Display Home, the only certified passive house display home in all of Australia, I've been led to believe.
Definitely in South Australia. I'm not sure if it's the whole country.
Let's just make the claim that it's the only one.
It's definitely the only display home.
Yeah. So if you're in South Australia and you want to come and experience what a passive house is, jump onto the Enduro Builders website and book a tour because this house is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Jess, have you got your
on to you, Jess. Let's go.
I've been trying to buy you some time here.
Thank you. I had them downstairs on my laptop, and I was like, "Sweet, I know exactly where they are."
This is the best. But we don't prepare any questions, so you should be able to just go for it.
Oh, shit.
Just what's the most difficult question you had there?
All right. I did quickly review them, so I'm just going to have to shoot from the hip.
Do it. I love this. This is very un-Jess style as well,
it's
so I love it.
No, okay.
Now, Jess, by way of introduction, Jess, you've actually been on our podcast before, which is
one time, yeah.
Which is why we want to flip the script a little bit. And we've also been on your podcast, so I'm kind of thinking, and we all talk a lot.
Yes.
So I'm thinking this is probably just going to be a chat.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, but I'd also like to know what your questions are.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So, I think I wanted to start off with a question about your. Deep end question, and only because I can't think of the other ones that are on my list right now. Deep end question, you both run building businesses. Building is a high stress, high risk industry to be in. You guys both run very successful businesses. Have you ever been close to the edge financially, like throwing in the towel?
Oh,
yep.
I would say yes, but not knowing that I was close to the edge.
Yeah.
So we actually just had the chat with Jackson and we're just talking about coaching. Me personally, like I haven't tracked my financials. I know they're in my head. I know the business from an accounting perspective is profitable each year.
And you know it from end of year.
Yeah. But I don't. But as time has gone by, post-COVID, and now we have issues within the world, I'm needing to know my numbers more and more. And that's so at the moment, my role is I looked at I owned building science, and I've owned marketing. Mm-hmm. I'm now owning financials in the same amount of input that I'm trying to understand them. I want to know every single little bit of financial detail in my business off the top of my head with the click of a finger.
Yeah.
So I'm going to answer that question twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been in business for 11 and a bit years now. First one was at the very, very beginning of my journey, where I think at the time I was sitting there blaming the client for what was going on and that it was a poorly run job and all that kind of stuff. On reflection and what I know now, I didn't manage them well. Mm-hmm. And there was a whole shit show at the end where they ended up moving in, they locked the doors and basically said, there's lots of defects, you need to fix them. And I had $60,000 final payment that was sort of waiting to get paid and they wouldn't pay it. It took us 18 months to negotiate around what happened. Now, yes, they were pains in the ass client. There's no doubt about that. But also, on reflection, I didn't manage them well, and I allowed to happen what happened. And look, for any potential clients that are listening now, I don't operate like that anymore. Definitely don't operate like that anymore. But this is part of the journey.
And I'd say business as builders, you have 400K come in, you have 400K come out some days.
Yeah.
That's building, and that's the hard part, because knowing that is you're robbing other jobs for some jobs at some certain times. That's just the way that it is. There's so much moving parts with 3-4 projects on the go, 5 projects. You have to. The money is so it moves
fluid.
around. Yeah,
it's very fluid.
Yeah.
So there was that one, but managed to get out of that fine. And then during COVID, probably not on the edge, but certainly exposed a lot of deficiencies in my business. Certainly, well, we talked about WIP before with Jackson, and when things slow down in a business, like COVID obviously slowed stuff down. I had some projects where we couldn't work on those sites because the clients were living in the home. Like, I don't know what it was like here in South Australia, but we had to close that part down. But obviously my overhead still existed. So that was a really interesting, I guess, realisation of things that I needed to change in my business. But, you know, I'm happy to say that that doesn't happen anymore. So
it's a learning curve.
Big learning, yeah.
Like, I think I say this politely, and it will happen to me too. It will happen again, but you're more prepared for it, but you'll learn more from it now. So the problem is different. You're understanding why it's a problem, and you're proactive rather than reactive.
I was going to say, like, I think the biggest difference now being, 11 or 12 years into business, maybe even longer, I can't remember, is that I can see those things a lot further ahead than back then. Like, I just didn't have the experience. So we are all the sum of all of our experiences, and based off those experiences, I now can sort of see and forecast and better prepare.
And we have, as a builders, we have huge overheads.
Yeah.
Massive overheads. And I think that's the part where we're just never taught. The general rule of running a building company is you do your apprenticeship. You're most likely not academic because you've gone into apprenticeship, and that's just how it's been forever and a day. And that's hopefully changing. We're looking at academic as a different way, just maybe better at your hands or a better skill. Then you fall into being a builder because that's just what happens. And then all of a sudden you're running a business. You never taught financials. You never taught marketing. You never taught HR. You never taught all those things. Yeah, you're really good on site and you understand the complexity of construction. But the business stuff, like, you learn by baptism of fire.
You learn by fucking up.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's the hard part. Like, so many people now, they want to learn building science. There's so many resources. And yeah, there's resources in business, but it's a little bit different, I feel.
I completely resonate with everything you said. I was part of running a building company years ago, and I found the same thing. Like, back when we were doing it, there was no podcast like this. There was no really good mentoring that we could find. There was no advice. Like, when you went into building, were you given any guidance on how to run a business from your families? And I love my parents, and I've got a great relationship. And this isn't a negative thing. And how do I word this? If your parents are telling you it's a great idea and you should go do it, it most likely might not be, because they're only doing it to support you and encourage you to do something. Like, my parents haven't run businesses. So for them, like, there is no transition of that knowledge. Perhaps they didn't understand what they were encouraging you to, like, if they were encouraging you, perhaps they didn't understand.
Oh, they're definitely encouraging. Yeah, they're definitely encouraging of like.
They want you to get a trade, right?
Yeah.
They want you to have a career path.
Yeah, they were encouraging in the aspect of, like, support. They were very supportive.
Yeah.
The business stuff, you just can't. Like, I don't even know. Even if mum and dad have done that, we're running a business, I don't know if would it be translatable unless it was in construction.
I think business is business, though. I mean, I think...
It's knowing your numbers.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the numbers is something that took me a long time to really click with. My brain doesn't naturally go there. I'm more interested in the creative side of things. I like the marketing. I like the problem solving. It takes a lot for me to get engaged with that stuff, and I'm becoming more and more engaged with that. With every week that goes.
You've got to find a way to make financials fun. That's what I'm trying to do.
Totally. And and for someone like me, I really need to sort of compartmentalise it into time slots. Like, if I'm like, I need to learn what my WIP means, or like what my cash position is, or what all these things are. Like, I couldn't be like, right, I'm going to do it this week or for the next 2 weeks. It needs to be like, right, I'm going to allocate this time every single week to work on that a little bit.
And just block it out in your calendar.
But yeah, that's what I do. I've got it in my diary to do it. Now, that's me personally. Some other people might be completely different. I mean, I kind of entered in the construction industry, I guess, through the back door. Like, I haven't got a carpentry apprenticeship, but I was on the tools for 12 years. So I know how to build a home. Pretty much like Jackson. Jackson's pretty handy. And construction made sense to me. I actually went to uni and I've got a business degree focusing on marketing and tourism. So this is why I'm so excited about marketing.
Yeah.
And I did do basic accounting and basic economics, but that stuff I found quite boring. I wasn't engaged by it. I was engaged with the creativity side of the tourism and the marketing stuff, and that's evident in my ability to go on market and see how we can communicate what Sanctum Homes does. But like the numbers for me is certainly something that, and I know for you,
I actually love numbers. So that's probably why I was drawn to passive house, did a science degree. So I'm actually very comfortable right now trying to learn them, but it's the distractions with so many other things that go on in the world right now that you can just, the tools that you have accessible to use, which for the good, but it's knowing and like what is at the core of what you're trying to learn. Yeah,
and I'm just going to throw caution to a wind. This is really just a throwaway comment from me. There's a lot of people out there that right now are like, oh, AI is going to solve that for me.
Yeah.
I think AI can help you solve problems, but it's like, you drive a car, like you need to learn how to drive a car before you jump into a race car. And I think by attaching AI to your business, you're supercharging your business. And if you don't know how to drive that really well, then you're probably going to go down the gurgler really quickly.
I'm using it as a coach to help me learn. So I'm not telling it to go, hey, what's my financials? Like I'm actually, and I'll just make this up. Can you explain how WIP is? What does it work? How is it calculated?
Yeah.
Can you step me through to work it out?
That's awesome, but you need to know that you need to find a WIP.
So these are like I've asked it to go back to like basics.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think you need to learn the basics of something before you start layering over this, all these other tools, whether that's software, whether it's AI or whatever. I think you need to know how to use it first or have a basic understanding. Like, don't just rely on like an external source to fix your problems.
Yeah. What's next?
Yeah. Given all of that, and if you got 4 kids between you, if either of
Hamish has 3, by the way,
and it's unevenly balanced, but if any one of your kids,
we don't have kids together
yet.
Yeah.
Let's make that really clear. If any of your kids picked up a tool belt at any point, would you encourage them to do it?
100%.
Take on the path that you've taken.
Noah can do what she wants. Like she's 9 months old now, but I'll encourage her.
That will disappear like that.
Yeah, and like for me, encourage her to do whatever she's happy with. I think, did we not learn during COVID, like go chase whatever you love? The money, set aside money for the moment. If you love something, you can make money out of it. It will eventually come.
I agree with that, but also probably to answer your question, probably selfish from my side, I would love my kids to be part of my business.
Same.
But as, Darcy grows up, as Phoenix grows up, and, Juniper's just sort of hard to see where like she wants to go because she's 9 months old. But I see Darcy and I see Phoenix, and I think if I was to put a bet on one of them putting a tool belt on, it'd be Phoenix. Like Darcy, he's interested, but he's not like interested. Like Phoenix watches like building shows on YouTube. Like he loves it.
Yeah.
And you can see it from a young age. And I wouldn't be pressuring, I wouldn't say, Darcy, mate, you've got to come into the family business. I'd be like, the door's open if you want to learn.
But that's like to anyone. It's like anyone that wants a job or an apprentice.
Yeah.
I don't look at my daughter different.
If to answer your question really simply, I would say it's a great opportunity to learn something really practical, which I think is going to transcend any changes in our work environment.
Yeah.
So I think knowing how to build things is such a lost skill. It's such a lost skill. Like to be able to work around my own property and be able to just do stuff. Like I haven't been on the tools for a long time, and this weekend I just knew what I needed to do to form up a curved bit of formwork for where we're putting a spa.
Makes you a really useful husband too.
Well, and
tick.
Yeah, total, absolutely.
Isn't it what's the old saying? A builder never finishes their own house, though.
Useful husband or useful wife as well.
Or wife.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I would say it's a great trade to get into, or trades are a good thing to get into if they want to.
Oh, like Noah, like when she's older, like she wants to do some money, she can go fill a skip on the weekend for it. Like you'll learn. Like
my daughters get on the work site.
I think that's really important that like she'll have an opportunity that most won't. That she can come work for me as a younger kid to earn a bit of money,
Yeah.
very
I've got
quickly.
some ripping photos of my kids on their dad's work site, like using drop saws and all sorts of cool stuff. Like, yeah.
Like school holidays when she wants it. Yeah, that's the luxury we have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Was it Pat Rafter, some tennis player, who said that he would never ever let his children play tennis because he was so scarred by the tennis world. So totally
I feel
different
it's
job.
selfish. Like
But-
let your child have their own ambitions and support whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that's a reflection of his experience.
Yeah, he had a very bad experience.
The reflection of my experience as a trade is really positive, but I
Yeah.
also can understand that.
Other builders maybe not so much.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
It's interesting too that you both have you've got different training, and Jackson as well. You've got different training coming into being builders. So you've got a degree in marketing and business. You've got a science degree,
and I finished a carpentry apprenticeship too.
and you did carpentry.
Jackson's a yacht builder.
Jackson had a completely different career before he started a building business.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he was sailing and building yachts and stuff.
He's like a champion sailor.
He looks like it.
He does.
But I think it's interesting that the three of
His
you have
shirt
had these
tucked in.
different pathways to get to where you are. And perhaps some of the other builders out there, they come straight out of school, they leave school early, they do their apprenticeship, and they don't have any other life experience apart from on a building site.
Yep.
And then they have to run a business. And things like superannuation and tax and work cover once you start employing people, like all of that is like so
Yeah, public
overwhelming
liability,
for someone.
contracts, work insurance.
Yep, you know,
work cover.
even-
It adds
Yeah,
up.
it's a freaking nightmare.
Yeah, and even a few years ago, I got caught out by not paying Leave Plus, which was like it's a
Superannuation.
It's a,
No,
not
no,
super fund. It's a long service leave
leave, yeah.
for your on-site team.
Oh yeah.
Because I got given some bad advice, saying, "Oh, you don't need to pay it. That's a union thing. It's a commercial thing." It ended up costing me $25,000 because I had to back pay it all.
Yeah.
So like, there's all these lessons that you've got to learn as a.
You don't finish your apprenticeship, start a building business, and here's a checklist of
No.
what you need to worry about.
I think it's a major failing of the industry. Not only is the industry like, the job sites, there's not enough oversight on the job sites, although some builders would say there's too much. There's not enough training for the young people coming through and starting businesses.
But
Massive failing.
also there's a failing that they're not carpenters aren't taught to teach. I think there's a number of failings. At the end of the day, like, is it their problem to teach us how to run a business?
Someone's got to flag it somewhere. Because I don't know if kids who go and get their trades understand that they are, they're essentially not going to be full-time employees. They're going to be running their own businesses. Once they finish their trade, that's their pathway.
I reckon there's a moving trend. I reckon more people are seeing that running a business isn't as attractive and sexy as what they once thought. They especially in building, they love being on site. They love working on the tools. The reality is, if you're a construction business and you're the builder now, you don't do that. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
So you're your HR, your marketing, you're the estimator. You're wearing multiple hats, and whilst you might be working on the business doing these things, you still have to be across them all.
And not only do you have to be across all of that, now you guys have got to be legit movie stars as well. You've got to be constantly
You've got to be social
filming
media.
yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a whole
So that's
raft of skills you've
but that's
got
the
to
thing.
have.
You have to do everything.
Yeah.
And the time that it takes, you just don't get to build.
You know what? Probably to answer, circle back to your first question. Like, I had a moment, probably a couple of months ago, and thought to myself, like, the idea of going back to something much more simpler at that particular point in time was appealing. Like, putting a tool belt back on and physically being part of putting the things together. Like, I really miss that.
Yeah.
Like, really miss it. And fortunately I can kind of scratch that itch on the weekends at my own home, but I've also got a family that I need to spend some time with, and I've got to give my wife some time to go and do what she wants to do and all those things. But, I was seriously thinking, could I go back on the tools? Could I go back on the tools 20 or 30 hours a week and then do 20 hours of like all the other stuff that needs to happen? I quickly realised that that's probably not reasonable, but like, it seemed like a really nice idea. Seemed a lot simpler. Yeah.
All right. Who do you think is the biggest villain in the building industry right now? Do you think it's the volume builders who are cutting corners? Is it the banks who are tightening lending? Or is it councils and regulators?
Is there a
I can see Matt just
I had a great
face
answer.
is lighting up. Please.
I might get sued if I have. If I say
Who makes it hardest for you?
Who makes it harder? Okay,
government.
So is it the banks? Is it the volume builders? I'm gonna sit on the volume builders thing for a second.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think they're the villain.
No.
I actually think that they are just a product of a competitive free market economy, because people want homes, and they exist because they offer a product in the environment. So I don't think it's the volume builders, and I don't think it's the banks, and I don't think it's the councils. I think it's all of it poured into a big bucket, and it all impacts like the challenges of being.
It's legislation, so it comes down from councils. I think councils, they all play their role. Like, I think we've got to go back to, I don't like banks, but at the end of the day, their goal is to be profitable, isn't it? So they're there to make as much money as possible and de-risk. So
and also you also got to remember that the people that are the beneficiaries of banks are the shareholders of the banks, which might be you, which might be you, which might be me. So we don't want the banks to go bankrupt. So we sit here complaining about them making it hard to borrow money or raising interest rates. They need to make money, so we all exist. Because if the bank collapses, like you think a couple of building companies go under as an issue, wait till one of the big fours go under.
Yeah, well, have a look with America. What was it? Not JP Morgan, was it?
Oh, the one that triggered
the
global financial crisis.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly what happened. So, government councils are just another extension of government now.
Yep.
And councils, I think, the biggest barrier in building more homes and better homes. Yep. I think they are the biggest.
Certainly slow the process down.
Yeah. Yep. I just think legislation. I think legislation is
in
just
what way?
Everything. Like, what way isn't it a barrier at the moment? There's so many rules and regulations and handbrakes and lack of common sense. So I know we predominantly speak about Victoria, but just, for example, we've got changes coming this year on multiple fronts, from how contracts are set to minimum financial. What's the thing about?
You got to have
for insurance, and we still don't even know what's happening, and they're just changing things because they've realised they've fucked it up and they're reactive rather than being proactive. It's like the volume build. It's like the BPC right now to get more builders in. They're making an online test compared to an in-person interview. That has a flow-on effect in 15 years when you've got ship builders who shouldn't have been in the industry. I mean, now we've got to fix it, or we have a look at them with the lack of issues around mould and condensation, how reactive and slow they are with that. And I can guarantee you, just like we had a cladding levy, we're going to have a mould and condensation levy. Like, that's why I say they're the barriers, because they're not just the short-term barriers, they're the long-term barriers as well.
And it's also really easy for us to sit here and say that this is where the problems are without like the context of what the decision makers, what information they're using to make decisions. But from where I'm sitting, my opinion is that they're looking at all the different problems individually, and rather than zooming out, well, not problems, but all the things that they're implementing, they're doing, all right, we're going to fix insurance, and we're going to make the contract a bit better, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But they're looking at all as individual things rather than zooming out and looking at it all together.
Have we not looked at this in a global perspective right now, and not to get into like worldwide economics? Haven't we seen China have zoomed out for the last 30 years to see a long-term play on renewables, investing in their own country, making sure they're stockpiled with the right resources and minerals and that? And at the moment, are they complaining of what's really happening too much in the world, where everyone else is so reactive right now with what is happening and at the hands of one person or two people who could shut down a strait? This goes to the exact point about the economy and politics in Australia is zoom out, like what is the end game? And Jesse Clark raised that with us on a podcast, probably time you listen to this, that's out. But like, what are we trying to achieve?
Yeah.
And at the moment, there's no goals. Let's just put things in here and let's change that.
Just for context around that, we were talking with Jesse Clark about like what the perfect house is. And so what is it that we're trying to aspire to? And from our talking with Jesse, there wasn't like this perfect avatar home or the perfect example of a home that the NCC was trying to achieve. It was just, what change can we make this time without no end goal, which I found really challenging. Now I'm going to stop myself short of saying I think we should turn ourselves into a communist society. However,
it's working though. I'm not saying
saying that you look at what China's doing and it's not terrible. Now maybe we'll lose some podcast listeners for that, and maybe we don't make that a reel because it'll spin itself around the algorithm like flat out. But like we've been doing things a way for a long time, and now some holes are starting to be exposed, and I think we just need to take stock and have a look at the current state of the world right now, and I don't know, have a think about how we're doing business.
Yeah, and I think that's I don't mean it like this, but there's pros and cons to every form of government, and I think that you just got to look at it as a holistic picture rather than pick and choose the pieces you want to take out of it.
Mm-hmm. You guys ever feel, because you are so forward-facing, you're the Mindful Builder podcast, you've got Sanctum Homes, which has got a reasonably high profile on the interwebs, you're part of the Sustainable Builders Alliance. Matt, you guys have got really quite you're well known in this pocket of the industry. Do you ever feel pressured to be perfect?
Yeah, not at all. Oh, I'm the owner.
I knew you were going to say that, both of you.
Oh.
I knew it. I'm not allowed to fuck up because I'm Hamish from Sanctum Homes.
I make mistakes every day.
And Matt's like...
And I just don't care. I'm normal. I'm human. I don't know about you, but I feel no pressure to put out content. I do it because I enjoy it. We do this because I think we both enjoy it.
Yeah.
If we both wanted to stop for a month, we would. I don't feel pressured one little bit.
But I think it also goes to something that maybe you and I were talking about in the car earlier on, and we won't go into that, but it was we're different personalities with different backgrounds. Yeah. We obviously share a really similar views on what we're trying to do with this podcast. For me, definitely. I
Where's
feel
the
a
pressure
huge
do you
amount of
feel?
pressure. But I think the pressure is more my perceived pressure of what other people expect from me. I feel like I'm up on a psychologist right now.
Geez, the couch is changing a lot today.
We are on the couch.
Wow. No, I genuinely do. And I think more recently, I've certainly had a really big think about what my business goals are. Mm-hmm. And they've definitely changed. Before it was all growth on growth on growth on growth. And certainly listening to, being friends with guys like Jackson and seeing what he's doing with his business is really inspiring. And I'm like, maybe I can do that. And I reckon I could. I reckon I've got the right personality to do it.
I don't want to build 100 homes a year.
But I guess it's aspiring to something.
Yeah, I know.
And whether it's 100 homes or whether it's 10 million turnover, whatever it is, I'm really taking stock more recently around what's enough for me and feeling comfortable with that, and rather trying to ignore the noise of what my perceived expectations from others is.
What do you think people perceive you as?
Well, I'd hope that people see me as a nice person and a real person as well.
I'd say 100%.
But also, I think there is people. I don't know, because every one of our listeners probably has a different perception of me, and they have a different perception of you. So I think we have a role to play in helping improve the industry, but I don't necessarily think that we need to build 20 homes a year and turn over $15 million to still have the same impact that we're going to have. And this is something that I've been realising recently. I reckon I could build 2 homes a year, turn over $3.5 million a year, and I still feel I could have the same impact that if I built 20 homes a year and turned over $20 million. And that's something that I've been, working through with myself over the last, little bit. Because I've got a young family. I'm 43. I was talking about it before. By the time Junie's 10, I'm going to be in my 50s. I want to be there for her. I want to be available for her. So I want to just find that balance. Mm-hmm. And the balance might be that I build 7 homes a year, and that's great. So I'm really trying to work out for me, not necessarily what other people are. Mm-hmm. And that's challenging.
But so your pressure's coming from you, not from others.
My pressure is coming from my thoughts of what other people think I should be, when really it should be what I think I should be.
And I'm assuming those people who think what you should be, you couldn't give 2 fucks what they probably think either, but you kind of...
I do, but I shouldn't, but I do.
Yeah. So I'm saying they're not it's not your wife.
But I also feel like I'm at that ripe age of where I'm probably due for a midlife crisis. So
I'm just going to end up in a convertible Audi next week driving around.
But I think the 40s is a real age of reckoning for a lot of people. I know it was for me. Early 40s, it's like a bump in the road where, you're 20 years away from being 20, and something happens. Something happens about the way you think about the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You all of a sudden realize how much your decisions matter and how close the future is
Yeah.
and how much the people around you matter.
But I think
And,
also, like on that, like you also, and if I'm, how old are you? 36, 37?
Yes, 36.
Okay.
Oh, good. 36.
I'm thinking more about my mortality now, probably for a couple of reasons. One, because I've got young kids, but two, that I've got aging parents.
Yeah.
So I'm at this really
becoming
interesting
That's right.
juncture in my life where my family's growing and, you know, I've got this amazing future with them, but then I've probably got a shorter time with my family, with my parents. And I haven't really thought about it until recently. And I think it's because I'm getting older and I'm seeing my parents' age, which is what, we're getting really deep, aren't we?
That's my biggest fear.
Wow.
Of anything.
But I didn't have these thoughts when I was in my 30s. I'm having them more now. And maybe it is this sort of natural
10 years
time.
ago, our parents were still like,
Yeah.
they were still completely the way we remembered them.
Your parents are always
Growing up.
invincible. You always think that they're invincible. Like
But-
nothing
but-
can happen to them.
But you get to the point now, and I think as they get older, where you realise that they're not.
Well, my father passed away nearly 5 years ago, and I cannot believe it has been 5 years.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear.
It's just absolute. I cannot believe it, and to me, he was
Yeah.
as dads are.
But I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is like right now I'm trying to work out like what is the right thing for me and my family and for me at this particular time, but still scratch the itch of my entrepreneurialism and, you know, how motivated I am and how much I do want to succeed. So, yeah, does that answer your question?
I think so.
But I
think we got
want to
there,
hear Matt though, because Matt is a slight, we're similar
Yeah.
age, but slightly different life stage.
and different attitudes as well.
So I'm just like, I just don't care what people think. Like I've played that card in my head too many times, and I know that ultimately the people that I care most about love me. So therefore, people outside of that, I really couldn't give two shits what people wrote on an Instagram comment. In fact, I love trolling them back and telling how shit their life must be if they want to sit there on an Instagram comment, having a crack. Like, let's be serious here. I think I know I'm outspoken. I know I don't have a filter. I really don't care, but I probably won't say something unless I can have a back it up with a conversation and be honest. Like I will sit there and have that, but I don't know. I've just never really cared too much about my perception. I don't know. I don't know why.
I think the idea that you're talking about, Hamish, where you know you shouldn't care but you still do, I think is something that lots and lots of people struggle with. And I heard someone say over the weekend on a podcast or on a reel or something, the longest distance you'll travel is the distance between your head and your heart. And I was like, that is really profound. And I'm going to sit with that for a minute, because I feel like the things you know and the things you feel can be very different.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was, something that I'm going to carry.
Yeah, I like that.
For me, life's too short to worry about what other people think. I was out for dinner last night with my wife and my best, closest group of friends that we caught up for a park, went to the kids, and then went out for dinner after it. Like, to me, like, I got them. I'm sweet. I got my family. Like,
You're very lucky that you've got a close group of people like that.
Yeah, I've got an extremely close.
It's very lucky, and not everyone gets that.
Like, extremely. Like, I know I'm very sheltered in so many aspects like that, but I'm the friendship group that I have and my family. Like, I've never.
You're safe.
I'm more than safe, and I've had ups and downs. Like, my cousin took her life from I was 20. Like, I've seen the turmoil that can cause, and I think that's why for me it's like you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And so for me, I just kind of try to live every day as is. I'm not perfect. Like, at the moment, I can't put my phone down. Like, I really want to get better at coming home and switching off. That might take me 5 years, but you sort of roll with those sort of things.
Have you always lived in Melbourne?
Yeah, I grew up in Williamstown, and I've grown up and lived in the same house pretty much my whole life.
And you've always lived in Melbourne?
I was born not far from here,
Oh, yeah, right.
in Adelaide Hills.
You're actually home.
Yeah, I'm home. I'm home.
That's nice.
I moved here when I was 2, though.
Huh.
I did live through the 1983 Ash Wednesday fires, though.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they burnt right up to our family's back fence.
Wow.
Mum got caught up there with me and my sister,
Wow.
my older sister, and Dad was in town, couldn't get up the hill.
Goodness.
Yeah,
There
hectic.
you go. History.
Hectic, yeah.
The reason I ask is because I've moved around a lot in my life. So you've got this established place to belong. I've moved around a lot. I still have a place to belong, but it's not the same.
I lived in Williamstown. Still play footy in Williamstown. Like I go down on the weekend by myself, and I can run into, I don't know, 50 people. I like going down to a supermarket. I will know someone. I'll run into someone.
Yeah.
Like that's I'm very sheltered in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, in saying that though, I moved to Park Orchards when I was 2. I now live in Warrandyte, which is a suburb over. So I've spent most of my life, 41 years, in like a small pocket of Victoria.
I think the other thing is I'm not afraid to ask for help. Like I have no problem.
That is key.
I have no problem calling on someone like, hey mate, I need a coffee chat.
Absolutely key.
I learned to give up that form of like
Doesn't mean you
what's
failed.
what's the word I'm after here? Like I'm never too proud to just be like, yeah, I'm not doing well. I think that maybe is a byproduct of my cousin taking her life, that I just was like, and not that I have mental health issues or anything like that. It's just like I'll just call someone. I don't really care if they don't want to hear it. And
your inhibitions are low,
yeah,
I would say.
And the people I go to, I really respect their opinion. So
Is that why you call me all the time?
yeah. But it's true. Like let's be honest. Like I will call you I need some advice. I've got no problem. And
I don't think there'd be a day that goes by, except for the weekend, that we probably don't have a conversation. But then there might be a text message over the weekend.
Oh, so I haven't told you this. So we're bathing Noah, and my phone went off, and I was like, oh, it's on. I have a special setting at night that actually only filters my family, and for some fucking reason you've somehow made us that filter. And Nicole's, I'm like, who is it? And she goes, it's your boyfriend. So I don't know how you've got through it.
That's like, which one?
Got through the family.
I don't know how you got through it, but because I didn't add you to it. Sorry.
Maybe Claude realises that I'm like a party of family.
Oh.
I think your phone recognises how many phone calls happen between
Yeah,
my
it
must be.
phones,
But I think,
and it's like priority.
but I think going back to your sort of original question on perception as well, is like one thing that I've really realised recently is we have a voice, and that voice is listened to by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that needs to be, I've learned I need to respect that.
Yeah.
I've only starting to understand that something I can say could be quite harmful to other people as well. Like I've called people out on social media recently for really dumb stuff and probably being like, should I approach it that way?
So, I mean, you're probably in a similar situation now, I think, with your podcast and you putting yourself out there. I think there is a level of responsibility now. And that actually doesn't burden me, but I definitely feel like a huge amount of imposter syndrome. I am not, like, we can see the numbers of how many download the podcast is. Like, I can also see how many people are coming to the SBA events. Like, I know that what we're doing is having an impact, but I still get caught out and I still get caught off guard when I get a text message or a Instagram, like a DM or something, saying, hey, I've just started listening to the podcast. I've gone back to the start, and thanks for sharing your story about your anxiety. Or little things like that. And I'm like, oh, fuck, that's right. Like, people are listening to what we're saying.
I try to reply to everyone, so please don't just flood my DMs. But like, I actually, whether it's a like or something, or thanks for listening, I always, it's one thing I've just always wanted to try to do is at least, it might be 2 weeks later, I will always try to get back to you. No matter what.
Although the Mindful Builder podcast
It's been a bit slow.
It is a bit slow sometimes because obviously got our own social media that we run.
Actually, find that if I reply to a Mindful Builder podcast like story, I don't get a reply. I've actually got to go directly to one.
If you want. I'm actually trying to decrease the amount I actually spend on social media anyway.
We have tried to, and I guess by choice, we've tried to outsource the Mindful Builder podcast marketing to Jan.
Yeah.
Just so we can
have a life.
You can only do so much, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, we're here for 2 days now, right? Yeah. So it's taking time out of our businesses and our family and stuff like that. Trying to then manage another social media page is challenging.
Yeah.
So we do apologise in advance. If you ever want to ask a question, try and get me or Matt.
We'll have a bot that does it for us soon.
Or ask Jess.
And then I'll get onto them.
If it's a polite answer, it's Hamish. If it's a stubborn, blunt answer, it's me.
I'll always reply and say Hamish at the end of it.
I'm just going to reply, you're a fuckwit. No, to Hamish.
All right, topic pivot. You mentioned, you alluded earlier to a painful client. Tell us a story about a really painful, like a client from hell.
I've got two. One of them I've spoken about on the podcast. They weren't painful. They were just, I lost control of the project and that was during COVID, and that, like, I had a lot of learnings from that. I had a painful client when I was, just before I actually started my own business, I was sort of site managing for someone, and the client was I don't want to get cancelled for what I'm about to say. He sucked. Parents were building something for him out the backyard, spoiled little asshole. There was one day where he didn't like the glass screen that we'd put in, like the shower screen. And we're like, well, that's what you paid for. That's what you've quoted. That's signed off. And then next day we come in, it was all scratched up.
Oh, no.
And we're like, did you do this? He goes, don't know what you're talking about, and just smiled. And you had no proof it was him. And then, yeah, there was just a lot of stuff that went down. And
Wow.
that was a point where I was like, do I want to be a builder? Because I was just like, I'd say there. But having said that, my clients are awesome. We vet them. Like, as much as people think that they pick to build with us, we ultimately pick if we want to build with them.
It's both ways.
Yeah, it's both ways. It's like any relationship. It's not a one-way highway.
Mm-hmm.
I've had two really notable experiences with clients. Both of them, I'm so glad that I had. Both of them almost sent me to the wall. One of them was with a previous business partner. But I was young. Like, it would have been 15 years ago, and absolutely mismanaged. Like, if I look at both of these examples, yes, they were pains in the ass, but how I managed them was just wrong. Like, I always led with emotion, not led with like irrational thinking. I didn't have any systems or processes around anything. We'd underquoted the job. I allowed too many things to happen. You know, one particular client, we went away for a long weekend. It was a renovation extension. We rocked up on the Monday, and it was a long weekend, and we rocked up and they were living on site, camping on site. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And like, Hamish right now would be like, get off, this is my building site.
Yeah.
But the Hamish back then is like, oh, I really want to work with these guys, I really want this job. And
Yeah.
like pandering to them,
money.
need the money, yep. So I let it happen. The biggest cluster.
What happened?
Ever.
Just you couldn't get your job done. They're complaining and.
Well, they used to walk around the site at night time, right? And these are the clients that ended up, they ended up getting a hold of a key somehow and locked me out.
Oh.
Yeah,
didn't know
towards
this.
the end of the job, yeah. And again, absolute mismanagement from my end. Like, they were pains in the ass.
But were you slow? Were you delivering everything on time and on?
No, and look, there was defects. I'm not going to say that we were innocent here. Like, there was defects in the project.
But every project has defects.
But every project has defects, and we didn't have the ability to go back and fix them. Like, they weren't letting us in the house to fix them. Anyway,
This is another
I am
reason.
so grateful for those two experiences. Though.
This is another reason that like we never like ABIC contracts is I feel that when I have an ABIC contract, I'm not as close with the client because we.
Yeah. That's
A what contract?
An architectural contract. I feel that we don't have the relationship is still amazing, but it's just not as.
Because everything has to go back through the architect.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so we just don't end up getting chit-chatting as much,
Yep.
which is there's efficiencies within that, but the relationship, it's just not from saying it's 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Like it's still, there's nothing that's gone wrong. It's just, they're probably not coming over for dinner.
Well, our process now, these two clients that I talked about before would never get through the first phase.
Well, that was my next question. Do you have like a culling process? You do, don't you?
Oh, I reckon at
Now?
least 2 people a week
And
get culled.
I think that's a really essential part of any business is because you can waste so much money and time and effort and anxiety and stress on the wrong client.
Yeah.
And I was taught this very early on, a business I worked for, nothing to do with the construction industry. I was straight out of uni. And the boss I worked for had a cull the wankers policy. Write that down. And he would, on purpose, not work for people who he deemed would be too stressful, waste of time, because they end up costing you.
Remind me to show you, if we got time later on today, to show you our ECI agreement. Like one of the second or third lines in there says, at Sanctum Homes, we have a no dickhead policy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And congratulations, you're not a dickhead.
Brilliant.
So we usually have this and I'm usually if you're a client and you hear me say we have a no dickhead policy, you know that you guys are past, because I'm usually not even getting to the point.
You won't even get past the first phone call.
Yeah. And look, some people aren't going to want to work with me and some people aren't going to want to work with Matt.
That's fine.
And that's fine. And I'm not going to want to work with some people either. And I think that is really healthy for any building project from both sides.
Definitely. Fixed price contracts.
Well,
conversation.
right now
Are they dead?
No.
I don't think they're dead. However,
Banks need to agree to them.
but yeah, because I don't think they'll ever be dead because the banks need them. But Matt and I had a chat about this in our weekly goss the other day, or was it a podcast?
Or was it on the flight this morning?
On the flight.
Probably,
When it was.
it's probably
You
all
guys
four.
talk
It's
so
probably all
much
four
and
of
it
them.
meshes into one.
We, particularly right now, so right now we are in April in 2026 and there is a war on Iran and prices are sort of a little bit fluctuating at the moment. So we are signing fixed price contracts. However, we are putting in more provisional sums and prime cost items. And we are front loading some of our payments more so we can then reconcile those provisional sums and prime cost items early. And that might be that we're paying deposits so they can buy material, or we're getting the material and storing it at our shed at home.
Yeah. So has your cash flow changed in that way? Like, are you paying out more earlier to secure?
Yeah.
But that's why we're asking the clients for more money.
Yeah, so it's more upfront.
I don't run a standard payment method A payment ever.
No.
From the contract perspective. Cost plus, I haven't done one. I'd be open to them with the right client.
Yep.
There's got to be a high level of trust. So we would run the same process of estimating all the way through as if it was a fixed contract and then turn it into a cost plus.
Well, I think legally you've got to do that anyway.
I just do it. I think that we'd want to make sure that this is where we're at. Look, they need to understand that the hard thing is explaining if defects, that's all billable hours. Like those items that you probably don't want to pay for still get paid for because they're not hidden in the cost anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's again like Passive House. It's an education thing. So going to mum and dad families that you've got to. It's cost plus. It could move up and down. Like
cost plus with the right builder, right designer, and right client is the perfect way to do it. It's the fairest way. Absolute fairest way.
Fairest is never the.
Do clients go for them?
There's too much. They feel there's too much risk, and there's not enough evidence in the past to suggest they work.
They don't trust builders as a general sort of
which is fair.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Yeah, I understand that. Which is why I feel like 100% of problems always come down to communication, and it's about setting your clients up with the understanding and the knowledge of the reasons why you're suggesting something to contract on, and you got to think about it. If a builder goes bankrupt on your project because of shit cash flow or prices go up, no one wins. You will end up paying a lot more than what your contract price is. So my advice to any homeowners listening to this is, like, if a builder suggests to you, hey, we're going to put these provisional sums and prime costs in, and there is a legitimate reason why, listen to them. Because they're making those suggestions for the project, for the betterment. I don't know if that's even a word of the project. And to make sure that the builder doesn't go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now I should ask you a building science question.
Yeah, let's
I
go
have
for
not
it.
touched on one single building science
Fine.
question today.
That's good.
I'll just defer all these to Matt.
Pardon?
I'll
Thanks.
defer all of these to Matt.
EMFs.
Okay, so shall we go?
EMFs.
Hey, so I'm studying EMFs at the moment. I am on the fence. I am open and I am curious, and that's the way it's going to stay for now. Who's got the lowest blower door test score?
Matt.
Okay, that was easy. What was it?
0.24 on
Was
a
it
very
your house?
Yeah, on a very tight volume too.
Your house?
Yeah. I think I only had 300 something cubic meters of air to move through.
I don't know
That's
if I've ever got
small.
under 3.
You got a what?
I don't know if I've ever got under 3.
Our average is about 0.34. I don't know why. It literally always is 0.34. I don't ask why. I reckon 4 projects in a row are just the same
Wow.
number.
We're consistently in the 3, like high 3s, but I don't think we've ever. Maybe we've got one blower door, but it was like in the 2s, but it was high 2s, and it might have been like pre-plaster or something, and then our final result was like 0.35 or something like that.
I don't think I'll beat my house ever.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I don't know. You don't need to get that airtight.
No.
No, you don't.
No.
And what about failures? Like, what about building science failures? Have you had, a condensation issue that you didn't expect?
Is this pre or post building science?
Probably
career?
pre. Like,
I had a roof
what's
leak.
your biggest defect or building failure?
I haven't had any crazy defects, but we had one. This is a weird one actually, which I know what was happening. There was just a little bit of mold in certain spots around the exhaust fan in the bathroom on a house. It was upstairs. It had 2.4 ceiling height. And we had a standing exhaust fan that went straight up through the roof and outside. Very 300 mil of space to move outside. Mm-hmm. What we will find is this ring of mold. And what I had worked out is because it was an aluminium tube that went through the roof, it was actually condensating.
Yeah.
And because it was a flat roof, where it taped, for some reason, I don't know why it was condensating, but the metal was condensating and it just had found its way onto the plaster, even through the insulation, and was dripping. So that was back then, if I didn't know what I knew, I would have never worked it out. But that's pretty much nearly as bad as I've had it.
I wonder if that's going to start happening now, with the exhaust fans having to be ducted to outside.
I think the client wasn't running it. They're like, oh, we only turn it on if we want to. I'm like, well, that's also part of the problem. But
okay.
If we ever just do an exhaust fan now, we have it on a timer switch, which I now think is part of the code anyway.
We've literally just finished a rectification where we had a shower base fail, and we think it was an old mud brick house.
So that was your job?
One of our, yeah. But it was a job that we picked up. Yeah, I won't talk about the details too much, but yeah, not a normally job we do.
Yeah.
But I suspect it was water coming in from the outside. It was not a mud brick home, and the drainage was shit. But what it did do, it exposed something that we did, which if I was to do it again, it was to code, but I wouldn't do it again. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we got in there, we fixed a shower base, and we owned that part of it. Said, look, I think this is where it's coming from. I think this is where the water's coming from. I've got absolutely no way of proving it. I don't think the shower base has failed. But what we're going to do is we're going to fix this, but any works outside that we're going to rectify, we'll have to charge you for. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a fair and equitable way of treating it. Mm-hmm. So
client was happy with that?
Yeah, they seem pretty happy. Yeah. Yeah. We've also got a roof leak on a roof leak. We've got a deck over a habitable space, and the deck's on pedestals. Yeah. And there's this tiny leak.
You can't find it?
We think we know where it is now. It's 9 years on. So 9 years on.
Can you pressurize the house with a blower door test, put some soapy water and see if it bubbles from the outside?
Oh, mate, we're talking about a project I did 9 years ago.
I know, but the pressure would push the bubbles, the foam in the corner where the air was getting through.
Yeah,
depends on where it's coming through.
We feel we're pretty sure we've isolated where it is, and it's fine. Look, it's a new owner of a home that we've built, and he's awesome. Mm-hmm. The past client's unreal. And we're showing up, and
rooftop decks, man. Oh,
we've identified where it is. And it's a small section of the waterproofing which we think just over time has just degraded. Mm-hmm. And it's on certain weather events where the water gets in, and it's just a small drip. Lucky there's no plaster that's being impacted. It's a timberline ceiling above it.
See water damage?
You can see a drip. You can see a drip. We're pretty confident we know where that is. Mm-hmm. And I did say to this guy, ironically now, because we're building a home just down the alleyway, I'm like, even if water was getting through the cladding there now, it's going to hit the adhero on the sips, and it's
The
not
drain.
Oh, you get there's always one rain event before you put the roof on and test it.
Yeah. So look, I think I think we've been reasonably lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of risk as a builder.
Yeah, there is. There is.
So, and look, if you're a builder, new builder listening to this, and if you don't give a shit about Passive House, fine. But if you don't completely wrap your building top to bottom in a really good membrane and tape all the joins, you are asking for trouble.
And insurance is now is consumer first coming up.
Yeah.
So they don't even have to go to you to fix a defect. They can just go to the building authority and they'll make you fix it. So has there ever been a better time to put ProClimate on your roof rather than that other crap silver?
And Jess, you work for
based?
someone who provides ProClimate.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, I'm not just saying that to please ProClimate, by the way. I actually think like it's the best insurance policy you can have.
Yeah,
Totally.
I agree.
Like, period. Like, it's,
Have you got any other questions? These are good questions.
No, I'm done with my questions. Do you have any for me?
I did have one and now I can't remember what it was.
Because I am the interviewee today. Don't know if you guys remember.
This is Jess from the Mindful Builder podcast.
Well, I got one for you. What's something that builders do that really annoys you?
Where do I start?
We're already an hour in, so this is another hour of this podcast.
Yeah, we've been chatting a while. Something that builders do that annoys me. I actually can't think of anything. I work in such a good pocket of the industry. Every builder that comes to me is so open to, like, they're ready. They want to learn.
Yeah.
They want to know. Annoying.
All right, let me follow up with that question.
Yeah, I couldn't give you anything right now. I'm
what's
not
something that
fussy.
architects then do that annoy you?
Not show interest. I'm finding so much more buy-in from builders than I am from architects. Architects are very, in my experience, very focused on their drawings and their page, and I'm not finding as much buy-in from architects in the building science detailing side of things as I am from builders. Builders want to know how to make sure that their product is going to be dry and safe.
Yeah.
I think perhaps architects are that one step removed from the actual building site. Some of them are, not all of them, but some of them are, and they're not as invested in understanding.
There's a whole
science.
podcast episode on just this topic, and I'm not going to go on the record as saying it's the architect's fault. I think it's a failure in their teaching.
Yeah, it definitely needs to be introduced in the very beginning.
No, but like we worked it out.
Page.
We didn't get taught about it. It's on you to learn. There's enough information out there.
Yeah, I don't.
Not just builders, not just architects, but builders, building surveys, engineers, energy consultants, everyone, tradies.
The biggest difference is where we deliver the end product.
And you see the failures.
We see the failures.
Yeah.
I think we're more at the coalface of the failures.
Mm-hmm.
Put retention on architects in. That would solve the problem. They're poor detailing. That's a joke, by the way.
There needs to be some kind of mechanism somewhere around, because if we build a house to plan, we're still the expert that's executing that detail on site, and it's our responsibility to say this is not.
I'm having that problem right now.
Yeah.
And you guys can change a detail based on what you think and feel and see.
No, we just can't. No, because if we change that detail, it's not per the drawings, then we could get in trouble because it's not following the drawings.
And a lot of this stuff should and could and has and does, and in our business, get resolved in design.
What did you say before? You said on the plane today, and you said it in the podcast. 100% of problems are communication issues.
100% of problems are communication.
So I interviewed Steve Basic on my podcast the other day. You know who Steve Basic is?
Yeah.
Matt Risinger's co-star on the Build Science. So he's going to be released.
Hey, Steve, if you're listening to this, because I know you do, we've been asking you for so long to come on our podcast, and you've said yes. So why are you saying yes to Jess and not us first?
Maybe I'm more annoying and I'm,
maybe
harassed him more. I don't know. But I'm going to release that in a few weeks. But what he does that I don't think a lot of other architects do,
I know what you're about to say.
He spends tons of time on site. Is that what you thought I was going to say?
No, something similar, but keep going.
He has spent his whole, he got a job at Building Science Corp as one of his very first jobs. So massive win there, learning from the best building scientists in America. But he has made it a point to go on site, have a look at what's actually being built, and then refine his details as per what he's learning on site from the builders. And he will learn from the trades, he'll learn from the roofers, he'll learn from the everyone he meets and improve. And that communication piece is there for him.
Yeah.
But architects say, well, we don't get paid for that.
He runs his own company, so maybe
but
that's a decision. That
sometimes you don't get paid for it, but it's worth the
I'll give
investment.
credit where credit's true. Like Sven from Maxa Design, I think is really responsive to our feedback, and he's actively got his team on our site to do some work experience, which I think is really
well,
great.
to me is what's one day on site learning how to install windows. So it's guarantee the time that you detail windows on the next 15 plans, you're going to cut that time in a quarter.
He's still refining his details 37 years into his career.
Yeah.
You know,
he made a really good point on one of his podcasts recently, and I love it, is that he said, don't go draw the detail that everyone knows how to draw. Don't go draw your back dam on your window. Go draw the detail that hasn't been done yet that's difficult, because that's the detail that we need to solve.
Yeah.
Don't draw the bear at a joist connection. Everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
Go find a detail that's really tricky and start there. So we do have a final segment called the Mindful Moment, sponsored by MEGT, Australia's largest apprenticeship experts. What's on my list today? I have one here. It's probably Leadership 101 for apprentices. And I've just had a new first year apprentice start, and so my other two apprentices are both a second and third year. The advice I kind of gave them the other day was that treat them, yes, for the first time you might have a little bit of power on site, and I use the term power very loosely, but treat them better than the way that you would treat it. Even if you were treated as perfectly, treat them even better. Because I think we have a system at the moment that's failing, where apprentices, some of them are still not getting treated well. But if we have a system that every time it gets better slightly, like that 1% incremental change, we're going to have a better system in, say, 15, 20 years. It goes to what we talked about earlier in this podcast about the long-term approach and the long-term view. So if you're an apprentice out there listening, or actually really anyone, this is really, I don't know why I have to explain this, but treat people well and treat someone better than you've been treated.
And I'll just add one more thing to that. If you're a first year apprentice, don't take your job for granted.
Because you're disposable and we'll find someone else.
I did not say that. Matt said that. I did not say that. Definitely did not say that. I think that if we are going to treat our apprentices better, I think that they should certainly not take that.
No. And I mean this like from a fun, like a good space. Like just don't yell at them. Like if you haven't been yelled at, don't yell at them. Like you should forever want that person to be better. And then hopefully they treat someone better than when it's their turn.
Did you ever have the privilege of having a hammer thrown at you?
Oh, I had worse than that. Anyway, Jess, thanks for coming on and interviewing us. We've got
That's a good chat.
Fun. I like these Ask Us Anything questions. Next time, make them spicier.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.